know, I wanted to take the time to deal with something that, again, I believe in this whole Trayvon Martin fiasco. And when I say fiasco, I'm not talking about his death. I'm talking about the Negro's response. And that is when you come down on the wrong side of this issue, what many of these Negroes would do is immediately they will label you as an Uncle Tom. Now, again, and I've said this in many of my videos, I don't really know why I don't register with people. But to do this, to make these type of videos, and to write the blogs that I have written, people, listen to me. You got to have thick skin. That is the number one prerequisite. If you do not have thick skin, don't get behind in front of a video camera making controversial videos that push the envelope because you're going to get attacked. I understand this. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with people disagreeing with me. I really wish I could find someone who can deconstruct my arguments. But when you do these type of videos, and not only myself, but there's other channels here on YouTube that push the envelope, very critical of black women, very critical of the black community, people immediately will seek to name call and start throwing out names. You're an Uncle Tom. You're a sellout. You hate yourself. And what's amazing about that is that if the person who is merely pointing out the behavior, if a person says, excuse me, you have drug dealers selling dope in your community. If the person who said that, who's just merely pointing out what everybody should be able to see, if the person who points that out is an Uncle Tom, hates himself, don't like black people, and he's the person that just merely points it out, then what do you call the person who's selling the dope? If a person says, black women are ratchet, some, not all, behave in ways that are detrimental for their relationships, for their children, for their community, if a person who points that stuff out is deemed a hater of black women or a hater of black people, hater of themselves, you call him Uncle Tom, and this person is just merely pointing this behavior out, then if that person is all of these negative things, what do you call the black females who are actually engaging in this ratchet behavior? If the person who simply says black people need to get their shit together is a black buffoon and a sellout, then what do you call the black people who have no problem not having their shit together, living off the dole, living on welfare, have no problem staying in Section 8 housing, raising generation after generation, you have no problem getting food stamps, and when their children turn 18, take them to go get their food stamps? What do you call those people? See, you black people, y'all have this thing twisted. And see, what you really need to do is y'all need to understand that you people, and when I hear people, well, you're casting, you're exposing dirty laundry. No, there is no exposing of no dirty laundry. This stuff is well documented. Everyone can see this. You people are the laughingstock of civilization. The world, people look at you and laugh. I mean, it's amazing that you people don't understand this. They're not laughing with you, Negro. They're laughing at you. Because in 2013, you are going backwards, dude. And you don't understand this. Some of these brothers who come to my channel, and I've seen other videos that they've made for other people on their channel, and these brothers, they don't have the reasoning skills to see how hypocritical it is. To come to people on YouTube and to criticize them, but you won't do anything about the larger exploitation of black women or black people that goes on in your community, that you are readily accessible, you see it every day, you know it goes on, you're aware of it, some of it you engage in. And you can't see how hypocritical that is because you don't have critical thinking skills, you don't have reasoning skills. And this is the reason why, again, I often tell people, this is the reason why I don't debate y'all. It's because your arguments don't hold any water. If you people are going to come to me and tell me that because I say about Trayvon Martin and the reaction that you Negroes had, protesting, demanding justice, no peace, holding candlelight vigils, and that is just blatant hypocrisy if you're not going to do that when it's a black on black murder, and we all know this. I mean, it's a crying shame when you have teachers who love to teach, who at the end of the school year, when they're hugging their students, has a tear in their eye because they know some of these students, they're not going to make it through the summer, they're not going to see in the fall. And that's not because they're going to leave the district or go to another school, it's because they're going to be killed. They're going to be murdered. And these teachers know this. Everybody knows this. And you Negroes are okay with that. But if somebody comes to you and point that out, the utter hypocrisy in that, and how you Negroes sit in a community and you allow it to be terrorized by thugs, and you Negroes will not man up and band together and do something about the drugs, the crime, the violence, monuments of spiritual and social failure that y'all call churches, but I call them what they are, monuments of failure. Y'all won't do anything about that. Y'all won't do anything about the corner-owned stores ran by Lebanese, Arabs, people from India who trick with your women, who mistreat your women, smack them on the butt, bend them over the lunch counter for a pound of chip shop ham or a little Debbie snack cake or a popsicle. Y'all know this goes on. Y'all see it. Y'all understand it. Y'all don't do nothing about it. But yet, if someone comes and says, look, this stuff is happening, that person is a sellout. That person hates themselves. That person is anti-black. But the people who are engaged in the behavior, I just want to know, what do y'all call them? If I'm an Uncle Ruckus for telling you people that you should be controlling the economics in your community, you should be not allowing these young thugs to terrorize your elderly who are in the waning years of their life. They didn't work all their life, and they should be just enjoying their last few years or their last years on earth, sitting back on their porch, enjoying them. They should be able to do that. They live their life, but they can't do that because you got young Negroes who are terrorizing these communities. Y'all know it goes on. It goes on across this nation. Everybody knows this is not a secret. If someone points that out, then you Uncle Ruckus, man, you Uncle Tom, you hate black people. Well, then if I hate black people for simply telling you this, then what do you call that Negro who has the pistol, 15 years old, a pocket full of dope, shooting up the neighborhood, drive-by shootings, shooting up an innocent crowd of people, innocent bystanders? I mean, what do you call this guy? What do y'all call him? I mean, what? Is he pro-black? Because he would have to be. I mean, this is the reason why again, when you want to talk about racism, and if you're going to really deal with racism, see, this is what I really believe. You know, most white people who may have negative attitudes about black people, it's not because of the color of your skin. Now, y'all seem to think, well, they hate me because I'm black. No, they hate you because you're lazy. They hate you because you're anti-intellectual, you're anti-education. They hate you that you won't get up and try to do something with yourself. They hate the fact that they go out and work 40, 50 hours a week to buy things that they want for themselves and their family. And then here you come with a pistol, climbing in their back window when they're going out on vacation, trying to take what they work hard for. This is what they hate. They hate the fact that as soon as you move in the neighborhood, there goes the neighborhood, because everybody knows you're going to have a barbecue cookout with cars on the front lawn. You got a restroom in the house. You got guys urinating on the sidewalk. This is what they don't like about you people. And it's unfortunate that the black people who don't fit this mold is thrown into that same pot with everybody else. Because this is the reason why this racial piece is not going to be solved. Because you Negroes need to check yourselves. Now, when I said that before, I had a minstrel. And this lets you know the reason of these Negroes. And this is the stuff that I get that I don't even respond to. When I said that you Negroes need to start checking the behavior in your community, I actually had a Negro who actually sent me a video and told me that the title of the video, I believe, was I can't solve the problems of the ghetto. Because he seemed to believe that what I was suggesting is that he goes up to a dope dealer, snatch the dope out of his hand, and tell him to stop selling dope. I'm going to let that marinate, because this is the type of irrational, effeminate assumptions that black men draw. If this was a female that sent me this, I would understand it. I would understand it completely, and I would explain to her what exactly I was saying. But for that to come from a black male is quite troubling to me. Because you would think that a brother would be able to have more critical reasoning and thinking skills to know exactly what I'm talking about when I suggest that there's things in the black community that black people need to start checking themselves. And for you not to understand that and think that I mean you walk up on a dope dealer and snatch the dope out of his hand and tell him to stop selling dope, the only thing that I can tell you, sir, is that you're stupid. There's just nothing else that I can say. I mean, this here is like the doctor who comes out of the emergency room and he pulls down his mask, and all of the family is looking at him wondering, hey, how's our loved one? Is he going to make it? And the doctor walks over and tells him, look, do y'all have insurance? Because it might be time for you to start contacting your reverend, because there was nothing that I can do with him. You didn't bring me much to work with. He's finished. And that's essentially what it is when I get these responses from these Negroes who sit back and call names for people who just merely point out the hypocrisy of the American Negro. And the people who point this behavior out is castigated, ostracized. Uncle Ruckus, Uncle Tom, you must be gay. You hate, somebody hurt you. You hate yourself. And what's amazing about this is that, and I never could figure this out. On one hand, how can you hate yourself? Which is messages that I've gotten from people. And then I've gotten messages from women who said, you're a narcissist. You're in love with yourself. You need to come off your high horse. And I sit and I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. I hate myself. Full of self-hate. Don't like being black. Don't like black people. Okay, I got that. But then on the other hand, you love yourself. You're a narcissist. You're arrogant. You're cocky. You need to come off your high horse. The two are diametrically opposed, people. So what it means is that neither one of you are right. Because what you seek to do is call names instead of dealing with the merit of the argument. As long as we get into name calling, and I spend my time rationalizing to you why I don't hate myself, or rationalizing to you why I'm not a narcissist, we still don't deal with the fact that you got black people killing black people. And the black community says nothing. You have a black community that's basically a war zone. Dilapidated housing, poor infrastructure, crumbling schools. These children in these schools can't read and write their own name. You people are okay with that. On a Friday night, if you go to a football game, you got all you Negroes there. It's standing room only. If you go to a basketball game on Saturday, it's standing room only. You got all you Negroes there. But if you go to a PTA meeting on Monday, y'all ain't there. Y'all got all kinds of excuses why you can't show up to do the most important thing. But all of the extracurricular stuff, you right there, back in your degenerate seed, hoping that they will be the next big NFL star or NBA star. Because you Negroes value that more so than you value academics. Now, to point that out, you're an Uncle Tom, you're an Uncle Ruckus, you hate black people. But what do you call the people who are actually anti-intellectual, anti-academics, who don't support their schools, who don't spend time trying to uplift their schools? What are they? When y'all answer that, hit me back. Until then, it is what it is.